Here are today's top stories. The Supreme Court upholds its decision to remove Maria Lourdes Sereno as Chief Justice via quo warranto. The AFP assures the pursuit operations against Maute remnants will not lead to a repeat of the Marawi siege. Catholic leaders dismiss the idea of arming priests for self-defense. And Malacanang expresses sympathy to the victims of the earthquake in Osaka, Japan. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Supreme Court upheld today the decision to remove Maria Lourdes Sereno from the Chief Justice post via quo warranto. The court also rules that this decision is final. More on this from Rom Dulfo.
The Supreme Court upheld its ruling granting the quo warranto petition, which ousted Maria Lourdes Sereno from the Chief Justice post. SC spokesperson Theodore Tez says the motion for reconsideration filed by Sereno was denied with finality. Sereno is the first top magistrate to be ousted through quo warranto proceedings. Tez says the voting stayed at 8-6 in favor of the quo warranto petition against Sereno last May 11. In its decision, the SC majority ruled that Sereno's failure to submit her salience as law professor at the University of the Philippines would mean her integrity was not established at the time of her application, making her ineligible to hold her position. In his quo warranto petition, Soljan Jose Calida sought the nullification of Sereno's appointment as Chief Justice over her alleged failure to submit her salience for several years when she was law professor at UP College of Law. It was found out that aside from her salience for the years 2006, 2009, 2010, and 2011, Sereno only filed salience for the years 1998, 2002, and 2006 during her tenure as law professor at the UP College of Law from 1986 to 2006. They also says the Judicial and Bar Council can now begin the nomination process for a new Chief Justice. The JBC is mandated to screen applicants for the judiciary and top ombudsman positions. From the time of vacancy, the President has 90 days to appoint the next Chief Justice. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Australian missionary Sister Patricia Fox is staying in the Philippines after the Department of Justice reversed the forfeiture of her visa. However, Fox is still facing 2 cases before the Bureau of Immigration. Here's a report.
Australian nun Sister Patricia Fox will remain in the country as the Department of Justice granted her appeal to reverse the Bureau of Immigration's decision forfeiting her visa and ordering her to leave the country. Justice Secretary Minaldo Guevara granted Fox's motion for reconsideration, saying that the BI's forfeiture of the 71-year-old missionary's visa has no legal basis. In her petition for review filed by her legal counsels from the National Union of People's Lawyers, Fox asked the DOJ to overturn the BI's leave order forfeiting her missionary visa due to allegations of violating the conditions of her stay. The NUPL reiterated Fox's position that there is no factual basis for the downgrading of petitioner's missionary visa into a temporary visitor's visa. Guevara explained that while immigration laws give the BI broad powers in regulating the entry and stay of aliens in the country, visa forfeiture is not among those powers. Guevara said while the missionary visa is valid and subsisting, the case against her will be treated as one for visa cancellation, a procedure that is allowed by laws and rules. The Justice Chief ordered the BI to hear the visa cancellation case along with the deportation case already commenced against Fox. Meanwhile, he said Fox may proceed with her missionary work in the Philippines. On April 16, Fox was apprehended by BI operatives for violating the conditions of her stay in the country by engaging in political activities and anti-government demonstrations. Malacanang, for its part, said it respects the DOJ resolution. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Malacanang expects prices of rice to go down with the arrival of imported rice in the country. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque clarifies that the rice imported from Vietnam and Thailand are not yet sold in market. However, news on the imported rice have affected prices of other commercial rice. Based on the latest monitoring of the Department of Agriculture, The price of commercial rice dropped from 38 to 36 pesos per kilo. Prices will drop to as low as 27 to 32 pesos once they are delivered markets. Mindanao and the Bicol region are the only areas that currently have stocks of affordable NFA rice. A group of religious workers have formally expressed their opposition to bid of Supreme Court Associate Justice Samuel Martinez bid to become the next ombudsman. In a 6-page opposition letter addressed to Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio, 18 Catholic priests, evangelical pastors, and theological teachers urged the JBC to disqualify Martinez due to various issues, including his alleged failure to adhere to strong moral principles. Among the issues raised by the group was Martinez's refusal to inhibit from the quo warranto case against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno and his biased line of questioning during the oral arguments. They also cited his vote to allow the burial of former President Ferdinand Marcos at the libingan ng mga bayani. Martinez meanwhile said he has no comment on the issue. Martinez and 8 other applicants will be put under questioning by the SC screening body starting 9 a.m. on Wednesday. The chosen applicant will replace Conchita Carpio Morales, who will retire on July 26. Local government units have shown support for President Rodrigo Duterte's order to prohibit tambay or loiterers in public areas. DILG OIC Secretary Eduardo Años says local officials have given the initiative positive feedback as a deterrent against crimes in communities. Año clarifies that LGUs already have existing ordinances allowing the arrest of loiterers, but these are not implemented due to lack of political will. He stressed that the president seeks to keep communities safe by cutting down the causes of criminality. The DILG chief urges LGUs to step up their efforts to protect communities since they have the president's support. The military is allaying fears of a repeat of the Marawi city siege as government troops pursue remnants of the Mautic ISIS group in Lanao del Sur. AFP spokesperson Colonel Edgar Arevalo says the military operations against 40 terrorists are confined in the mountains of Tuburan town. Arevalo stresses that the terrorists are on the run and lacking logistical support. It will take years before they can organize a massive attack similar to what they did in Marawi. The military is pursuing Abu Dar, the latest Mautic group leader and the last among the terrorist leaders that planned the Marawi siege. Arevalo says all troops are ready to neutralize the Mautic ISIS members that escaped from Marawi. Still to come, Catholic leaders dismiss the idea of arming priests for self-defense. The Court of Appeals affirms the passenger transport ban imposed on Sulpicio lines. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
In terms of heavy industries, nagko-complement kasi meron tayong build.
Lalo na, oo.
Pwede tayong mag-import from Korea.
From Korea.
At yung nabanggit mo naman na mga damit, mga agricultural products, pwede silang mag-import din.
naman sa atin.
Yeah, sa atin. No?
Oo. Tapos, tama yung sabi mo, yung sa build lang, maraming participation sila. They're also, syempre, because of their fast growth, in the recent past, they've been strong in mga engineering work and pati renewable energy. May Korean electric company na rin operating in the Philippines. They continue to expand. Kasi kita nila yung growth sa atin. Kailangan pag may growth, may power. So nakita nila ang lakas ng opportunity sa atin.
Sa biyahe na to, Secmon, ano yung nakikita mong magiging gains ng Administrasyon Duterte sa biyahe na to?
Okay, in the general sense, syempre, the goodwill of the President, a strong relationship with the President of Korea and the people of Korea. Yung ganyang goodwill, napakalaking bagay kasi moving forward, magaan ang loob. So, lahat tayo sa sa administration, sa government, pag nagmi-meeting with our counterpart, magaan din ang mga usapan. Kahit saan, kahit sa trade, investment, kahit sa security, cooperation, magaan. On the trade, nakikita natin gains dito. Aside from tomorrow and mamayang hapon, marami tayong pipirmahan ng government-to-government cooperation. Kami rin sa trade industry cooperation, tying up with their center para magtayo rin ng mold and die sa atin with Korean government assistance. The other thing is government ni President Duterte, dahil galing siya sa Mindanao, malapit sa mga agriculture, mga produce. Una-una na dyan yung banana, mga mango, and then even the coconut. At nationwide din, yung concern. Pinupush natin ngayon sa bisita ni President Duterte yung magpag-usapan uli ang mga taripa nito at parang basically ang message natin sa kanila mag-open up pa sila ng economy, babaan yung tariff rate para mas makapasok yung agriculture products natin papunta dito sa Korea. Kikita natin na immediate gains pag nagka-agrihan, syempre, ay mas makapasok yung produkto natin. Lalo na yung mga farmers, mga agriculture products, farmers na magbe-benefit.
Lastly, Sekmon, kita natin more than 60,000 OFWs sa Korea. Kita rin natin na more than 1.5 million Korean tourists sa Pilipinas. In fact, ang daming Korean towns.
They're the largest tourist.
Tapos, now I realize na napakadami pala nating pakinabang sa Korea. Number 6 largest trading partner, number 7 largest investor. Ano yung mga unang bagay na dapat pumasok sa isipan ng isang Pilipino pag nakakita siya ng Koreano?
Una-una, kaibigan. Then pangalawa, syempre, at sa country to country, marami napapag-usapan para mapalakas yung relationship. Magandang partnership. In other words, si Korea, partner. Pag nakita ng bawat Pilipino, kaibigan, kapartner, at marami tayong magagawa. So, trade, negosyo, tapos industry development, nagbibigay din sila ng technical assistance. Sabi mo, big source of investment din. And I think, and tourist, malaki pang mailalakas nito.
Sa education, di ba?
Oh yeah, education. Nag-aaral sila sa atin. At tapos tayo rin naman, mga specialized field, nagpupunta rin dito for training and education.
This official visit is important as it underscores the long-standing ties and the common commitment of both the Philippines and the Republic of Korea to work together in achieving greater things for our nation.
Priests are being encouraged to learn martial arts for self-defense instead of arming themselves with guns. Cáceres Archbishop Rolando Tirona says priests should not carry firearms the same way Jesus Christ lived despite being in peril. Tirona added that as members of the clergy, priests are supposed to be men of peace and non-violence. Father Edwin Garrigues, Caritas Philippines Executive Secretary, says learning martial arts is a preferred way for priests to defend themselves. He added that allowing priests to carry guns is a huge contradiction to their faith since firearms are instruments of death. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines earlier thumbed down the idea of priests arming themselves. The idea was proposed following the death of 3 priests at the hands of assassins. The Court of Appeals has upheld the decision to ban Sulpicia Lines from transporting passengers brought by the sinking of the MV Princess of the Stars in 2008. More on this from Miguel Hill.
The Court of Appeals has affirmed the ruling of the Maritime Industry Authority or Marina, which banned Sulpicia Lines or SLI from transporting and carrying passengers. The CA's 11th Division denied the petition filed by Sulpicio, now known as the Philippines Pan-Asia Carrier Corporation, seeking to reverse Marina's ruling issued in 2015. The CA explained that the SLI should have filed an appeal first with the Office of the President in accordance with the doctrine of exhaustion of administrative remedies. The administrative complaint on the cancellation of SLI Certificate of Public Conveyance was filed by the relatives of the victims of the ill-fated MV Princess of the Stars, which capsized near the coastline of Sibuyan Island in Romblon in June 2008 at the height of Typhoon Frank. The incident claimed more than 200 lives while around 500 others remain missing. Marina's decision covers Sulpicio's 11 current ships. The board said other ships that may be added to SLI's fleet would be limited to cargo operations only. The decision still follows the filing of separate civil and criminal charges in relation to the tragedy. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The government sees the province of Ifugao as an enduring tourism gem of the Philippines and likely a top cultural destination soon. In a speech by Presidential Advisor for Political Affairs Francisco Tolentino, President Rodrigo Duterte commended the well-preserved attractions in the Upland Province, which continues to be a paradise for residents and tourists. Tolentino was representing the President in Ifugao celebration of its 52nd Grand Gotad. Tolentino said the national government sees Ifugao becoming a major tourist destination featuring the culture and the artistic heritage of the Cordillera people. Tolentino said the province has also succeeded in building stronger communities and paying tribute to its people's ancestors. He said the province's shared task of looking after the natural and man-made resources has led to the preservation of the Banaue rice terraces, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Tolentino sees the beauty of Ifugao as a result of the Ifugao's Bainian spirit through the years. Military and local officials in Maguindanao called on newly elected village leaders of Raja Buayan town to help the government stop illegal drugs and extremism in their communities. The newly elected barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan officials took their oath before Raja Buayan Mayor Zamzamin Ampatuan, who challenged them to unite in order to realize better barangay governance. Brigadier General Diosdado Carrion, 601st Army Brigade Commander, urged the officials to help the local government and the military rid their communities of lawless elements, illegal drugs, and extremists. Lieutenant Colonel Edgar Catu, Chief of Army's 40th Infantry Battalion, meanwhile said the Army welcomes cooperation and coordination from elected officials so that lawless elements could not disrupt peace and tranquility in their barangays. Raja Buayan borders the adjoining towns of Sharif Aguac, Datu Saudi Ambatuan, Datu Salibo, and Mamasapano, which are all conflict-affected towns in Maguindanao, where the ISIS-linked Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters operate. The provincial government of Kalinga condemns the recruitment activities of the Cordillera People's Liberation Army, or CPLA, in the province. Andy Ngao-i, co-chairman of the Provincial Peace and Order Council, says a resolution was passed last March condemning the activities of the CPLA's so-called Molina faction. The CPLA is an armed militant group founded by the late rebel priest Conrado Balweg, together with former Glock Abra Mayor Mailed Molina. Ngao-i said that CPLA claims that it will be the regional security force in Cordillera integrated into the AFP once federalism takes effect. He said the regional autonomy being pushed does not deviate from the constitutional doctrine, that there will only be one AFP and one PNP. Ngao-i is also the president of the Unified Cordillera Bodong Administration, CPLA, which had renewed the peace agreement with the government through the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace Process. The CPLA has shown its support for autonomy towards federalism. Ngao-i, however, says the Molina faction CPLA is not part of their group. Up next, the Commission on Higher Education joins the University of California in developing an advanced drug testing kit. Malacanang expresses sympathy to the victims of the earthquake in Osaka, Japan. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
The best way to understand each other's culture, the fastest way, is through broadcasting. and through the content that we can stream online.
So not only am I very happy to actually sign the MOU with you, it's a great honor to actually meet you in person, because I know that you are the face of the Philippines and also very well loved by the people. It's a great honor to meet you.
It will be a great honor also to see you in Manila one of these days.
The Commission on Higher Education is cooperating with UP Manila and the University of California in the development of a specialized drug testing kit. CHED OIC Chairman Prospero de Vera says the drug testing kit that is under development can detect designer drugs that older testing kits cannot find. It can be used by law enforcers in determining the movement of drug manufacturers in the country. The technology, which will cost about 100 million pesos, is the agency's contribution to the administration's war on illegal drugs. The new drug testing kit will be available in about 2 years. Malacanang has offered prayers to victims of a massive quake that shook Osaka, Japan on Monday. 3 persons were killed and at least 214 were reported wounded following the tremor. The quake did not trigger a tsunami, but more than 170,000 households were left without power in Osaka, in Honshu Island, and neighboring areas. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque assures that the Philippine consulate in Osaka is also monitoring the conditions of Filipino workers in the city. The Department of Foreign Affairs earlier reported that no Filipino was among the casualties of the earthquake that struck Western Japan. There are over 16,000 members of the Filipino community in the Kansai region, which was in the immediate epicenter of the earthquake. The Philippine Consulate General in Osaka has already advised members of the Filipino community in the prefectures of Osaka, Hyogo-Nara, and Shiga to be on alert for aftershocks and avoid unnecessary travels. Ateneo's Isaac Go and San Beta's Donald Tangkwa are set to be named the Pivotal Players of the Year by the UAAP NCAA Press Corps. The distinction will be formalized on Thursday night during the 2018 Chooks to Go Collegiate Basketball Awards at the Bayleaf Hotel. The Pivotal Player Awards are given to players who led their respective teams to the championship in their mother leagues. While 30 Ravenna was named the Finals MVP for the Blue Eagles in last year's UAAP Men's Basketball Championship, it was Go who made the shots that mattered as they got back to the top of the league after 5 years. On the other hand, Tangkwa made a successful return from a knee injury to lead the Red Lions to their second straight NCAA title. Tangkwa was named the Finals MVP. Also to be given out are the Breakout Player of the Year, Mythical 5, and the Chooks to Go Player of the Year awards. To help improve the livelihood of residents in Marawi City and other areas, the Department of Science and Technology has launched a caravan featuring advancements in technology solutions. More in this report from PIA's Calvin Pinaco.
The Metals Industry Research and Development Center held its Science and Technology Caravan from June 4 to June 6 in Iligan City in support of Marawi's rehabilitation. The event was part of the center's initiative called DOST MIRDC Goes to Countryside, which aims to spread the fruits of science and technological innovations to targeted beneficiary cities and provinces. The activities included technical seminars, forums, exhibits, and sharing of technology solutions, which were held at 2 locations, namely the MSU IIT Mini Theater and Robinson's Place Atrium. According to MIRDC Supervising Science Research Specialist Engineer Reynaldo de la Cruz Jr., approximately 300 participants attended the activities, many of whom were students from MSU IIT and employees of the metal industry in Iligan City. The caravan also sought to help the internally displaced persons or IDPs of Marawi, especially those located in Iligan City, to learn new skills in welding and fabrication to enable them to rebuild their homes and potentially turn such skills into livelihood opportunities. The center targeted 4 cities for the S&T Caravan this year. The first one had been in Tagum City, and the latest was in Iligan City. They are targeting 2 more cities in the next semester. During the closing ceremony on the last day of the event, Department of Science and Technology Region 10 Director Alfonso Alamban announced the department's plans for July.
Tayong forthcoming activities na nagpo-promote din ng science, technology, and innovation. Kasi next month, July, National Science and Technology Week na. So, ang maunang mag-celebrate buong Mindanao, magkaroon tayo sa Davao. And then, nationwide, sa Manila yan. And then, sa September, dito sa atin, sa Malaybalay. Yung National Science and Technology Week, mag-showcase yun ng mga various technologies na sa iba't ibang sektor, no? Like science for the homes, science for school, science for cities, science for health. So, may iba-ibang application ng science. Kaya nga umaabot kami ng 20 units.
The MIRDC is an agency of DOST responsible for directly supporting the metals, engineering, and allied industries of the country through skills training, technical consultancy, and providing technology solutions. For PNA Newsroom, Calvin Pinaco, Philippine Information Agency.
Let's now check out weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories. The Supreme Court upholds its decision to remove Maria Lourdes Sereno as Chief Justice via quo warranto. The AFP assures the pursuit operations against Malta remnants will not lead to a repeat of the Marawi siege. Catholic leaders dismiss the idea of arming priests for self-defense. And Malacanang expresses sympathy to the victims of the earthquake in Osaka, Japan. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.